Hey guys, good Thursday morning, and thank you for checking out your latest South American ag weather video analysis. This is Kirk Insier, BAM weather meteorologist, recording this video at 9 o'clock a.m. Eastern Time, 8 o'clock a.m. Central Time here this morning, and hoping you all are doing well. And it's been a couple days since our last video, and the reason we put it, like we put it in the post yesterday, the data just hasn't changed over the last a couple of days for the next 2 weeks. And overall, things haven't really changed over the next 2 weeks. I just wanted to share further out than that. The weeks 3 and 4 forecast, I have higher levels of confidence than normal as the European and the CFS American data overall agrees. And I'll show you that here in a second. Starting things off here this morning, this is a look at the April month-to-date precipitation percent of normal rainfall here. And, you know, we've always been on the train of the wet Argentina, dry South Central Brazil, and overall wet areas of, like Mato Grosso and into Goiás. And that has been identical to how it has overall been observed and how it's going to be going over the next 1 to 2 weeks. Temperatures, we've been mentioning, we've been the warm, cool, warm. And that's like been our forecast for the next 2 weeks for, it seems like the entire month. So that has obviously panned out very well. In terms of how things are shaping up for the next week, we are still seeing that wet Argentina, dry South Central Southern Brazil, wet Northern Brazil. It's the same pattern, and it's obviously verified. It's going to verify over the next week. Our forecast is very close to the European model. The European model has done very well for the month of April. I don't really see any, and GFS is not really any different. The European has just had a little bit more of an edge, so I don't see any reason to disagree with it. Inch in a quarter to 2.5 inches for the major Argentinian cropland is going to continue to replenish those soil moisture anomalies there. We're going to be hurting. Still going to be hurting in South Central and Southern Brazil in regards to our soil moisture. I do not anticipate in the foreseeable future a big recharge, and I think we're going to continue to, along with the above normal temperatures, deplete the soil moisture here. That's it. We're seeing a problem here. Obviously, you can see the markets and how they're responding. I think from a weather standpoint, that is a correct response because there are problems ahead. I mean, this is the week 2 European ensemble. This is a strong signal from a 51-member ensemble here of very dry conditions where we have been observed very dry month to date over the last 3 weeks. A little bit of increased rain in Argentina, more like normal. Still good rains in northern parts of the Brazilian croplands up there in Mato Grosso, northern half of Goiás, and Rio de Janeiro. In the GFS ensemble, you guys, we've told you this a bunch of times. When these two models agree, there is a much higher level of confidence, and they are very, very close in their overall projections. So I've leaned a little bit closer towards the European ensemble. It's a little bit wetter in northern Mato Grosso, Goiás, and into Rio de Janeiro, as that has been what is verified. And then overall points down to the south, no disagreement. Again, I think we are talking less than 50% the normal rain. Honestly, as this roll forwards, it'll probably be less than 25% the normal rain for the southern two-thirds safrinha corn crop in Brazil over the next probably 2+ weeks. So temperatures here, again, I want to select something that looks like how the month to date has looked, and that's the GFS ensemble. It's just handled the temperature pattern, ironically, better than the European ensemble, which has handled the precipitation better. So kind of this warm neutral look in Argentina, cooler in southern Brazil, and warmer in central Brazil. And that's how it looks over the next 2 weeks. I don't really have any disagreement with it. This is how our forecast has looked. This is how the month to date looks. We're going to keep with that. That takes us all the way almost through the first entire week of May. So where do we go from here? The pattern drivers have been very similar. Phase 8, phase 1 of the MJO, strong correlations. Even phase 2, I do believe we're definitely in phase 2 as we're going deeper into week 2 and into week 3. Do we get into the phase 3 and 4? Now, the way I would lean right now is yes, based on the atmospheric global circulation of things. I think, especially for the southern hemisphere, I do think we could see MJO phase 3 and 4. It's not totally different versus what the pattern we are seeing right now. The only difference is it's shifting things a bit further north. The dryness possibly a bit further north in Brazil, and the wet may be creeping in southern Brazil, Uruguay, and those areas. I'll touch on that here in a second. And that's coupled with the drop in the AAM being forecast ahead. Now, this is going to be key to watch this. We need to see this roll forward. If we're getting closer to late April, early May, and we're just not dropping, that could change things. And not significantly because the MJO was a heavy influencer here, but it definitely can change things for the month of May, and that is a risk. But right now, our top analogs have dropped the AAM late April, early May, and the forecast is that. So right now, I would favor a drop. That's a risk that we need to watch. When you couple those two together, you get the European Ensemble Weekly, week 3 and 4 forecast. This is through almost 2/3 of May. And that is this area here, like I mentioned, Rio Grande do Sul, Santa Catarina, southern Paraguay, Uruguay, Argentina croplands, much above normal in precipitation, but still we're moving the dryness a little bit further north where we have gotten some rains month to date, and that's northern Mato Grosso to Goiás and Rio de Janeiro. So this would not be a favorable look for the weeks 3 and 4 time frame, really over the next 4 weeks, the next month, for the overall safrinha corn crop areas. I mean, you look at the CFS American data, this is the week 3, it's dry. The week 4, it's dry. They both agree. They match the analogs. It matches the research. I don't really have any reason to disagree. I think the European weeklies that run tonight will not change as much as what we thought they would change on Tuesday, and they did. I think it's a consistent solution. It makes sense to me. Temperatures, this is kind of the other flip of the coin that is compounding things. This is a very strong signal from the European weekly at a distance of 3 and 4 weeks out. I mean, this is much above normal temperatures for the bulk majority, 80%, 75% of the safrinha corn crop areas, and it's supported by an even warmer American CFS solution. These are very strong signatures, almost a month out. And they have verified. That's the most important part. It matches the research. It matches the drop in the AM. It matches the progression of the MJO. Probably a rise in the Antarctic Oscillation as well. So higher levels of confidence in the extended forecast into at least the first half of May. The key takeaway, you get anything away from this video, is the second crop, safrinha corn crop in Brazil, looking to be both hotter and drier significantly over the next month. And given the pattern drivers, I do not see that flip-flopping around on the data. In fact, probably growing stronger as we roll this forward. We'll keep you updated, guys. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Have a wonderful and blessed Thursday.